Ukrainian troops training on German-made Leopard 2 tanks earlier this month in Poland. Berlin agreed to send 14 of the highly regarded tanks in January after months of pressure from allies. Britain and the United States are also sending dozens of their main battle tanks. But it's taking time. None have yet reached the front line, and Ukraine says it will need hundreds more tanks. Germany rejects accusations that it acted too slowly in arming Ukraine.
We do well to carefully weigh all the consequences of our actions and closely consult on all important steps among allies, because this is a war close to us in Europe, a dangerous war.
In 12 months, Berlin has transformed its posture toward Moscow. A year ago, Russia supplied 60% of Germany's gas. Now it's practically zero. Days after the invasion, Berlin announced a $107 billion hike in defense spending. But there is public and political reluctance to get too deeply involved in Ukraine, says analyst Sarah Pagung.
There is, at least in the Chancellery, a fear that this conflict might spin out of control and that it spins into a NATO-Russia conflict. A more negative description could be that Germany actually lacks a strategy and that it only does what it really needs to be done to make Ukraine survive, but not to make Ukraine win.
Critics say the West has been too cautious in confronting Russian President Vladimir Putin, and it must now step up.
We're constantly, again, always thinking about provoking Vladimir Putin, crossing Vladimir Putin's red lines. But what about ours? I mean, again, we said after World War II, never again. Never again. Never again will we allow that kind of slaughter of millions of people to be slaughtered in a conflict in Europe.
The return of conflict to Europe has revealed Western divisions. French President Emmanuel Macron said that Russia must be defeated, but not crushed. The Baltic states want a comprehensive Ukrainian victory. Britain is urging faster weapon deliveries. But overall, European support for Ukraine has proved surprisingly resilient, says Pagung.
If you see the war dragging on for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, that may be a different story. The US support really is key to maintaining Western consensus as a whole. If we look at the numbers, we see that the US is basically providing half of the aid for Ukraine on its own.
Ukraine says it urgently needs Western fighter jets, the next red line that NATO and its allies must confront. In Berlin and some other European capitals, there are concerns over the consequences of humiliating Russia by helping Ukraine achieve a total victory. But critics of such caution say the greater danger lies in a Russian victory or a long, drawn-out conflict with greater human and financial cost. As the war enters its second year, that debate is testing Western unity. Henry Ridgwell for VOA News, Berlin.